Hello, welcome pen friends. I've got kind of a fun video for you today, or at least I hope it will be. It has been fun for me. So a little bit of background. I got a letter from the nephew of one of my pen pals, and I'm going to keep both my pen pal and his nephew, their privacy. I won't mention names, but they know who they are. And so I got a little letter that was tucked in from my pen pal, from the nephew, and part of the letter, I won't read the whole thing, but part of it says, "What is your favorite pen? I hope your day is going good." So this is a very young pen enthusiast coming into the hobby and getting, writing with fountain pens at a very young age. And I kept thinking, how am I going to answer this? And of course, when I'm answering pen pal letters, I'm going down the list and writing letters in order that they came in usually. So there I am on the day when I'm going to answer it, and I still hadn't really decided. I thought, oh, what a hard question to answer, because it really is, especially when you're a YouTuber and or have a large collection of fountain pens and you love so many of them like I do. But oddly enough, I was doing laundry yesterday and I started to think about this, and then I thought, okay, I'm gonna let that idea kind of simmer, because I'm not sure if it's just a wild idea, but I still had the idea very strongly in my mind this morning. And that was, I was making sure that I washed my favorite jeans, because they need to be available for Sunday, for Easter Sunday, actually, for the activities at home and for our possible picnic and so forth. So I thought to myself, really, for me, fountain pens are a lot like your favorite pair of jeans. My favorite pair of jeans are not my best jeans. They're not my most expensive. They're not even maybe in the totally best shape. I wouldn't wear them when I went to the doctor, but yet they're the ones that I just keep wearing the most. So I know I love them the best, and it just, because I think of pens that way too. I've got some really expensive pens that I really like, and I like how they write too. But they're, I might be a little nervous about taking a pen like that out in my bag, to a doctor's waiting room or to wherever, outside of the house, because I might either lose it, drop it, break it, all the different things that can come up, with the more fancy or more expensive pens. And so time and time again, I have realized what my highest usage pen is. And of course, I have my video, which I'll link at the end on the, the back page as this ends. I have my top 5, and that kind of changes a little bit, just like your eyesight, each year it kind of refines maybe, or changes just a little bit. So the top 5 is easier, but it really wasn't hard when I started to think about my favorite fountain pen the way I would my favorite jeans. Which ones do I gravitate toward? Which ones do I want to clean and hurry up and clean them out so I could put another ink in the very same pen? And that would be, without a doubt, and I'm sure those of you who have been around here a long time might have it already narrowed down in your mind to at least 1 or 2, but it's my Twsbi Eco. And then I thought, well, this young man did ask, what is my favorite pen? So I need to narrow it down to the favorite one within this sub collection, which I keep all my Twsbi Ecos in a Galen leather 24 case. And so I did that. I went in here and I really thought about it. And I thought, okay, it's definitely my purple transparent Twsbi Eco with a broad nib. So that's very specific. And this does turn out to be pretty much my most used, loved, can't wait to clean it out and put a different purple ink in it pen. It just happens to be empty right now, which kind of makes sense, because I have 3 now that are purple. So that kind of helps spread the love, so to speak. I have the eggplant, and then I have another Twsbi Eco in transparent purple that has a medium nib. But I turn to these over and over again. I write with them. I'm not afraid to take them with me outside of the house. I take them everywhere. And let's see, I'll show you the way that I've been. And of course, I have more than just Ecos in here, but I have this lavender pen case, and I put them in here as I'm finishing the fill. I go ahead and I write letters with my primary 8 to 12 pens each month at my pen desk, and I keep them right here in a tray so that I'm testing them and working with them, going into my ink journal and writing all my letters with them. And then as the month progresses, and I have done all my ink tests, especially because I'm a person who's trying out many different ink samples, then I'll transfer them over here to this pen case. And when I look in here, I see 1, 2, 3, 5. So I've got 2 over here and 3 on this side that are Twsbi Ecos. They're no doubt my favorites. And, you know, when you get right down to it, okay, I'll pull a different one out. It's not the favorite, but it definitely is a contender. It's a piston filler, so it holds a lot of ink. And then it is available in the, you know, all the way from extra fine, fine, medium, broad, and 1.1 stub nib. So you've got a lot of choices. Now, when I first started, for several years actually in the hobby, I was afraid to change the nibs, and I'm still very, very careful. But now that I use this stuff, which I think it was Pen Friend Marilyn that mentioned this, you know, this is stuff, it's grippy stuff that you find, I think, in the kitchen department. And this one hasn't been cut yet. But I have smaller pieces that I use to pull the nib and feed. Now I'm not at all, I'm just not nervous anymore about pulling the nib and feed carefully, because this is real spongy. Whoops. There's another, I don't know which brand this is, probably Rubbermaid, but I'm not really sure. All I know is you want the nice, soft, squishy one. There's one at Dollar Tree that works okay, but it's not quite as grippy, and this really helps prevent any kind of you know, damage to the nib and feed. Anyway, so that was a major turning point, because I thought for a while, you know, my Lamy Safaris are a close contender for this top spot. They really are. But I like a demonstrator. So I guess this is where we're in the portion of the why, right? I can explain why. You know, I like a demonstrator where I can see my ink. And I like to see the whole thing. Like, I like to see how things work in there. The piston, the feed, everything. And it's so nice to be able to see that. So that's why they call it a demonstrator, of course. And there's just something that has me gravitating back to the Twsbi Ecos all the time. Now, I want to address, you know, what comes up an awful lot, and I totally respect and understand some people just won't touch them because of the cracking issue, which is an issue that's real, but I've had, well, for a long time I had exactly 24. I think I may have 25 or 26 now, Twsbi Ecos. And I've only had one of mine crack, and one that was incoming to me had a little crack in the section right up near where you hold it. But Twsbi is very, very good about working with you, and you contact them, and they will, in fact, I think I did it all by email. And then you pay the $8 and they'll send you the part. So it hasn't been a showstopper for me. For a while there, I really thought seriously about it. But then I realized, you know, I enjoy them so much that it's worth the risk. I just take really good care of them. I keep them in my pen cases, and you know, I think I take care of everything, even my glasses, you know, I wear them all the time, but I do take really good care of them. So cracking can happen, but I'm okay with that. It's kind of like the same thing with my jeans. I've got stains on, a little bit of ink stain on these favorite pair of jeans that I'm always wearing. And I even have a snag from the cats, but it doesn't prevent me from feeling comfortable with it. And so if a pen cracks and it gets to the point where I get ink on my fingers, then I'm gonna switch out that barrel. I'm gonna contact Twsbi and go through the process. But thankfully it hasn't happened very much to me, and I'm real glad of that. I've been now ordering my Twsbi Ecos with a broad nib mostly because I know that's the nib that I prefer. But I like the fact that I have, I even have an extra fine. I have a, whoops, there goes a letter, sorry. This is the first one I ever had, and I do have that stained a little, but that's okay with me too now because it's just battle scarred, I guess. Wow, looks like it needs to be cleaned again. But I'll bet you I stood there and went at it a lot. I don't know what I had in there. Definitely a pink, but that's not the extra fine. That must be the medium. So I've got two clear ones, one with a extra fine nib and one with a medium. And so I do enjoy the smaller nibs, you know, for different purposes. But I have done a lot of switcheroos. I took my Twsbi Goes and put the broad nibs on the Ecos because it was coming clear to me that as long as I had a broad nib on an Eco, I would write with it all the time. So that, I think, pretty much answers what my favorite pen is. It's that purple one, and it's, at the same time, it's all the Twsbi Ecos, because I really love them. And that is a reason. That's one of the main reasons I love them, is because when I pick this pen up, I know I'm going to have some shade of purple in there. And same thing with, let's see, you know, I've got the blue one as well. And, guaranteed I'll put a blue in there, so I know when I pick it up. I may not remember exactly which one. What else? Wow, almost everything is out. So I've got some, you know, neutral ones. Like this one is the white with rose gold. So I could put any color in this one. So I have to be, it's nice to see to see what ink I have in it. And for some reason, I always end up with turquoise in this one, or a kind of a, you know, a teal, a light teal or something. So these are my most fun pens, and I would consider them my favorite. And, you know, do I have other really awesome pens? Like my Benu pens, I thought to myself, you know, my Benu Euphoria is just one of my favorite pens. But again, I don't use them as much as I do the Twsbi Ecos. So it tells me right up front, yeah, I'm a Twsbi girl, so that's the way it is. Okay, I'm not meaning to make this too long. I just wanted to answer that question. And of course, I'll be writing back to this person and my pen pal too, probably at the same time. So thank you for asking the question. I like questions. They make me think. This one made me think over several days, because I thought, I'm not sure whether I can actually answer that, because, you know, it depends on which day. Those of you who know me know that I also am crazy about my little Moonman minis, because they're eyedropper pens. I've never had them burp, and they're just fantastically fun and perfect sized for the pocket. And I also love the giant Opus 88s that hold like 3 mil of ink. There's just something about those great big chunky pens that are just amazing. But they still don't win in the usage department, or the old favorite, where, you know, if I eagerly get ready, I often empty this, the Levenger, and I really think about, okay, what do I want to have in this case? Because this one goes with me over to another room where I do a lot of journaling, free form, you know, just writing about my day, and also some process journaling to try to understand, you know, what are my thoughts? How am I dealing with the things that come up in life, and processing that? So I want in here, you know, some pens that I'm going to be really excited about writing with on all papers. Right now I'm writing on an Italian paper in the, okay, this one right here. This is the Peniter. That's my main notebook. And then CVS Caliber gets all kinds of attention, because I can get that at a low cost, and I can do all the writing I want to do. So a lot of thought goes into which ones are going to, you know, move over to this case to be used, which I'd say I do more journaling even than letter writing, which is amazing. So, so let me know, is there any way you can narrow down your favorite pen? You know, can you come up with one? And, you know, if you can, drop it in the comments. I love those kind of discussions, and it's really fun to find a positive subject right now. So I think we all need that, and we would all enjoy hearing about it. Or even if you can't pick just one, you have to pick 5 or 10. That's okay too. Because, you know, even after 8 years in the hobby, I can still go into the comments and find pens I've not heard of or tried, or, you know, and I'm not necessarily buying this year, but it's interesting how fast the years go by, or even just being interested and then having some opportunity come up, you know, some windfall or some thought of trading or selling a pen and then getting something new, it's nice to have those lists and those ideas in your mind. So I love to be exposed to new ideas that I didn't know about from the pen community. So I will see you all on the next one, and I hope you have a wonderful, if you celebrate Easter weekend and Easter and everything, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.